Hi everyone, hope you're all having a lovely day. Um, a couple of weeks ago, I had about a week off work, and on one of those days, I got to catch up with a mate of mine who's a country music collector. He's been active since the late 60s and he loves country music. Um, I would say he's one of the most avid collectors definitely in Queensland, if not Australia. Um, I was one day at the record shop in Brisbane City. There's one upstairs, and I was looking around there, trying to just look through all their stuff, and I just, it was so badly organised in there. I was about to walk out, and then I met this guy, John is his name, and he's widely known as Country John in music circles, just because he loves country music. So I met him there, and he said, "Oh, look, I might have some albums you're interested in." And I was into a lot of outlaw music back then. Well, I still am, like Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard. Uh, so I said to him, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely interested." And anyway, I caught up with him in West End, and he had all these records in the back of his truck, Merle Haggard and Waylon that he brought along. So I bought quite a decent amount from him, and since then I've been over to his house a couple of times and gone through his stack. And this is a few that I've just bought recently. I'll just be a sec. I've got my porridge cooking, so I'll just turn that off and I'll be back. It's important not to burn the porridge. I'll just turn it off because I can see this is probably going to take a while. So, I got a fair number today. Last time I went out to see him, I got quite a lot of Australian country music, like really early stuff, and I did the same this time and got a fair bit of early stuff, but I also get American stuff as well. So I'm just going to go through the albums that I got off him, the vinyls. So this one here, John Anderson, Tokyo, Oklahoma, which is it's almost, I really like that song because it's almost like a Japanese style country song. It's a pretty groovy tune. So I first learned about John Anderson probably maybe 14 or 15 years ago when he was on the Waylon Never Say Die concert, his final sort of concert. And he has a great voice, so he's a guy that I really enjoy. He's got quite a lot of great tunes as well. This one, Furlin Husky. Country John has got an album of this which is in pristine condition. And so I said to him, "Look, I want to get the album that you had before." So I got that album off him that he sort of repaired a little bit. Then he gave me this one. I'm a big Pete Drake fan. This one sort of isn't in the best condition, so he just gave me that one. And then I got some Boxcar here. I love a bit of Boxcar. He's got great choice of songs, so I'm going to enjoy reading that. I sort of enjoy performing some of his songs out here and there at some of the country music clubs. Then one of my favourite singers at the moment is Webb Pierce. So I got one album of Webb Pierce, and I just love his voice, and also his use of the pedal steel guitar is fantastic. I got this particular one here. I got this one because I actually wanted to listen to a guy on there called Ned Kelly, who is described as Australia's Hank Williams, and he's got a great voice. Really, there's very little of his material available, very little known about him. Sometime I might talk about him a little bit. Then we got, this was recommended by Country John. I always enjoy his recommendations. Lonesome Country of Curly Putman. Now, he's most famous for writing The Green, Green Grass of Home. So, but I'm sure he wrote other things. I haven't had a listen to this yet, so I'm excited to have a listen to that. Now, I decided to buy some Loretta Lynn albums due to one of my buddies, Michelle Rose, a virtuoso of the pedal steel guitar, being a big fan of Loretta's steel player, Hal Rugg. So I thought I should really get some of these. So I got a few early ones, and then I got a few later ones as well. So there's one there. There's another one there. I haven't listened to any of these, but I've heard some of Loretta Lynn's stuff before, which is she wrote Coal Miner's Daughter as her most famous song, which so many people know. Now, another guy that I really enjoy, I think he's a great singer. I believe Johnny Cash once said that Johnny Rodriguez was his favourite country singer. And I always, when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's just hype, But after listening to him, he's just great, And like the steel guitar in there is beautiful, And that's the sort of style that I'm trying to go for, Just so soulful and just beautiful. So yeah, I got a few Johnny Rodriguez albums. I've been listening to him on Spotify a lot. Oh, he's so good. So this album, I think I got 3 albums, and I've got a few other ones. This one here, another Johnny Rodriguez one. Country Style, this is a Kiwi country artist, Garner Wayne. Now, I was actually looking around at buying one of these albums, but I couldn't find them. Even in New Zealand, they're pretty hard to come by. He was quite a famous singer, so I was pretty happy to just see that in there. And whenever I buy my albums, generally I buy them, they've got to be in good shape. If they've got any scratches, I really just put them back, Except for very rare occasions. And then we've got this one here, which is Shorty Ranger. Now, my buddy Pete Smith used to know old Shorty, and they're from the same area, which is Nulla Nulla Creek, so that's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited to get that one. And here's another one of, I think it's Shorty Ranger's first album, The Man from Nulla Nulla, so that's going to be cool. I've only got a couple of Shorty Rangers already, so that will go into the collection. And I got this one as well because I thought this would be a good one. Barry Thornton, who is the king of country lead guitar. He sort of invented the bush ballad style of guitar playing. And Norm there's a pedal steel guitar. That's Norm Bodkin, who is a great ambassador in the early days at Hadley Records. So, if I see a steel guitar on an album, that's coming back to my place, But I'm going to enjoy having a go. I'm going to play that album and then add my little bits in over the top. This is, I believe, quite a famous album, Little Jimmy Dickens. I've known about him for a long time, but Country John was like, oh, you should go and get this album, it's a good one. And then I saw this one, which is Josh Graves, bit of Dobro there, so getting that one. Now, Bobby Bear, I do enjoy some of his stuff. So I don't really have any of his stuff. I did have an old scratched up record, which I just sent to the op shop, But I got this one because it was in good condition. Loretta, there's a later Loretta one. Oh, this one here is an interesting one. Recommended by Country John. It's Chubby Wise and his fiddle. Haven't heard it yet, but I thought this looks interesting. I'm always interested in obscure things, And then we got Bonanza with Lorne Green. I've got a few DVDs of Bonanza and I do really enjoy it. But as far as westerns go, TV series, The Virginian, I absolutely love that series. I've got a couple of DVDs of that, like the first and third season, I think. But I'd like to get the other ones at some stage. But yeah, this one, I haven't listened to this yet, but I do have a Lorne Green album, which is around the same time, and that's great. And then I'm a bit of a fan of the Australian Tex Williams. I sort of like his look, you know. He does an album called The Lonesome Yodeler, which I wanted to get for years, but I haven't really seen it readily available. So this one here, I've known about this album for a long time, and I finally got it. Another one of Johnny Rodriguez. Now, I got this album, it's a bit scratched up, but, you know, John gave that one to me. Ray Charles, what a great singer. I think I may have been given this album as well, Kings of the Steel Guitar, which has got a few legends on there. Now, this album I heard about through Dan Dugmore. He was like, this album got me into like steel guitar, I believe. But I saw it on the Country Music Hall of Fame doco they had with him, with the Nashville Cats. And you can get this on Spotify. But I've been looking around for an actual copy. This one is a bit like scratched up, but I thought it's pretty hard to find over here. But it's got Buddy Emmons on the steel. It's a good album. Like, definitely have a listen to that one. One artist that I really like is this Dick Curless. I've only got one other of his albums. He's fairly difficult to find. This was in really good condition, so I bought that. I'm going to be enjoying listening to that. This actual Dick Curless actually had a Martin guitar, and I actually saw it for sale on Marketplace back at the start of the year. A guy was selling it. It had some inlay on it, and it was from the 1950s, and I think he was wanting about $20,000 or something for it. But it had it had been like all fixed up, you know. I mean, I would have just left it, but he spent a lot of money fiddling around on a conversion and stuff on it. So I don't think it's on Marketplace anymore. But I was so surprised to see that. You know, if I had the money, if money was no object, you know, I'd buy that guitar just for the like its historical value. You know, that's so cool. And then I got this one, Hank Snow, Tales of the Yukon. I thought this looks really interesting, you know. And it's actually, I think it's all recitations, yeah. But I haven't had a listen to that, but I'm going to enjoy listening to that. And then we've got an old classic Aussie one, Rhythm of the Range, Gordon Parsons. I've got quite a lot of his albums, but not this one, so I finally got that one. And then I've got this one, which I think is quite rare. Final one, these were some the Lagarde twins who are they actually travelled to Nashville. They did a lot of stuff in the 50s and 60s. Probably some of you got a lot of my subscribers would probably know these guys, and some of them may have even met them. But there we go. And so that was those ones. Then I did actually get some CDs as well. These are some CDs I paid for. This one here, which is a Johnny Greenwood one. I met Johnny Greenwood at the start of the year. He's had a very interesting life. And this one's signed as well, so that's pretty cool. And then I was asking him, you got any Ron Peters albums? And he was like, yeah, I got that one he found for me. So Ron Peters with Karen and Danita as family members, so that will be exciting. And then I got a few albums by a a guy Brian Letton, who I met out at Boondooma. I thought I should get some of his music, so got some oldies here. He's got a great voice. And that one as well. And a lot of these are signed, you know. So, you know, it's pretty groovy. And then I was pretty excited to see this one, Trevor Day. Now that's, there's a song on there I'm going to sing out at one of the clubs called Thank You. So that's it's good stuff, that. And then here's a couple other albums. There's another Trevor Day one that he gave me. And then finally I'll finish with this one. I found this album too. Looks like a young buck there. His name's Pete Smith. He's doing 12 Bush ballads with 2 new releases. And there's the Willawarren Sale on there. And there's 903 Louisville as well. Yeah, well, this is certainly a young man with a lot of promise here. And I think we're going to hear a lot more of him in the future. Anyway, hope you're all having a great day. And as my old buddy Terry Tex Davis says, keep it country. See ya.